the tension within the ruling party that peaked when the Ankara mayor recently called on a top government official to resign seems to have subsided, with both actors in the latest battle of words having admitted, after being warned by the Prime Minister, that it was wrong to publicly exchange harsh remarks. In my opinion, this dispute is finished, Prime Minister Ahmet Davutoğlu told reporters on Wednesday, referring to the fierce battle of words between Deputy Prime Minister Bülent and Ankara Metropolitan Mayor Melih Gökçek. Noting that he discussed the issue with both sides and reminded them of the party principles, Davutoğlu warned all party members that anybody who utters remarks in public that would harm the ruling party's prestige will face disciplinary measures for violating party discipline. Both sides to the dispute also gave public statements that indicated they would toe the line and refrain from talking on the issue in public. The first statement came from Deputy Prime Minister Arınç, with whom Davutoğlu earlier said that he had met on Monday night. In remarks to reporters late in the day on Tuesday, Arınç admitted that it was wrong for him to have exchanged remarks with Gökçek publicly, but said he could not refrain from speaking out. The Prime Minister is right, but it would not have been appropriate if I had remained silent. I will respond to a person who violates my private life. Our Prime Minister is right, but I could not refrain myself, Arınç said. Davutoğlu met with Gökçek, who is also from the ruling Justice and Development Party, AK Party, at the Prime Minister's residence on Tuesday night. During a visit to the Confederation of Turkish Trade Unions, Turk, in Ankara, Davutoğlu told the press, "I told him Gökçek what needs to be said based on these principles of the party. We cannot in any way tolerate any behavior, ahead of the upcoming elections or afterwards, that will damage our party." Ankara Mayor Gökçek said several hours after Davutoğlu's statement on Wednesday that he would no longer answer any questions on the issue out of respect for party discipline. Underlining that he highly values and would bow to any instruction by the Prime Minister, Gökçek said during an event in Ankara, "Party discipline is very important." The whole episode of public bickering between two prominent figures of the ruling party broke out after President Recep Tayyip Erdoğan unexpectedly stated on Friday that he was opposed to the establishment of a committee to monitor the settlement process launched to resolve the country's Kurdish issue, claiming that it would be of no use. In a rare public confrontation between the government and the president, Arınç, who is also the government spokesperson, responded that the establishment of the monitoring committee had been agreed upon as part of the settlement process and the government was determined to go ahead with the idea. Then Erdoğan stepped up his criticism of the government's handling of the settlement process, saying he was also opposed to a 10-point declaration of reform proposals announced following talks between government officials and the pro-Kurdish People's Democratic Party, HDP, at the end of last month. When Arınç once again challenged Erdoğan, saying it is the government who is legally authorized to carry out the process, Gökçek called on Deputy Prime Minister Arınç, in tweets on Monday, to resign, accusing him of being an inside man from an alleged parallel state that will inflict a blow to the ruling party from within. In response, Arınç slammed the Ankara mayor, who also called on the government to dismiss Arınç should he refuse to resign, saying Gökçek is not dignified enough to make such a call. The parallel state is a term invented by Erdoğan to refer to sympathizers of the Gülen movement, also called Hizmet, which Erdoğan accused, without providing any evidence, of being behind two graft probes that went public in December of 2013. Erdoğan, who was head of the government at the time, claims that the probes, following which 4 cabinet ministers left their posts, was a coup plot against the government. In a strongly worded criticism of Gökçek's remarks to him, Arınç also accused Gökçek of sitting in the lap of the faith-based Gülen movement and of having, before the graft probes, sold Ankara to this structure plot by plot. Upon Arınç's statement following a cabinet meeting on Monday, criminal complaints were submitted on Tuesday against Gökçek for having allegedly unlawfully offered favors to sympathizers of the Gülen movement, which is inspired by Turkish Islamic scholar Fethullah Gülen. The Deputy Prime Minister also said the same day that he would like to talk about 100 issues related to Gökçek as of June 8, implying that Gökçek may be involved in corruption, illegal dealings in his work as a mayor. Arn added in remarks to reporters that he would avoid speaking more about Gökçek until after the parliamentary elections on June 7 in order not to damage the image of his party. Kemal Kılıçdaroğlu, leader of the main opposition Republican People's Party, CHP, demanded to know why Arn is waiting for the elections to say what he knows about Gökçek. Why will you hide the corruption until June 7? Who has given you this authority to hide corruption? The CHP leader said during a visit to Denizli's Bekili district on Wednesday. Noting that the government spokesperson maintained that Gökçek had sold Ankara plot by plot to the Gülen movement, Kılıçdaroğlu recalled that the AK party government would also be held responsible for any illegal dealing on the part of Gökçek. He said, "Where were you when he sold Ankara plot by plot? Were you not in power?" Octave Ural, parliamentary group deputy chairman of the Nationalist Movement Party, MHP, said the accusations aren't directed towards Ankara mayor need to be looked into. They are trying to cover it up, Vural told at a press meeting in Parliament on Wednesday, maintaining that Arn's remarks reveal all the evidence for unlawful dealings of the Ankara mayor. Described by Arn at the press briefing following the cabinet meeting as being not dignified enough to call for Arn's resignation, Gökçek said in a tweet late on Monday night that he would take legal action against Arn over his insulting comments. But Arn challenged Gökçek, implying that it would be Gökçek who would incur more damage should the issue be brought before court. Noting that evidence would also be brought before the court when a court case is introduced on the issue, Arn told reporters in Parliament on Tuesday, "I cannot say whether it will be the plaintiff or the defendant who will incur damage.